Everyone, can you please start taking your seats? It would be greatly appreciated. I see a lot of empty seats. Get your coffees quick. Enjoy your last joke.
How I call this? Valerie?
Valerie Forney wrong.
Forney wrong. Is she here?
She is in the hotel. Whether she's here or not, she's there. Okay, final call for everyone to sit down, please. That would be great. If you're still outside getting coffee, quick. Okay.
So please take your seats. So good morning, everyone. I think no needs for long words here because we had yesterday already an excellent opening ceremony of our Congress here. Once again, thanks to the Turkish Canoe Federation President Alpre for this impressive opening ceremony. I think we can go straight to the agenda, but before we are doing that, I want to welcome some very special honorary guests. First of all, we are happy to have Valerie Forney here, the chair of the board of the International Testing Agency. Welcome, Valerie. Competitors on the water, but friends out of the water. Welcome, President of the International Dragon Boat Federation, Claudio Schermi. I haven't seen Danielo Bamas, President of World Rafting. If he is not here yet, then he will join us later. And of course, we want to welcome our honorary President, Pachi Perorena. Welcome, Pachi, back in your family. And we are happy to have our honorary member, Helen Brownlee, here. Helen, welcome. Our success depends from a lot of reliable partners. And we are more than happy that we have 8 of our sponsors and partners here. Welcome, Andre from Nelo. Welcome, Plastex, welcome Huao, welcome Iron Master, Peisheng, EMAS, and Sports Camps. Now I kindly ask you to stand up from your places if you can, to honor those who have passed away during the last 2 years. Thank you. And now let's move on with some messages.
Dear President Konietzko, esteemed members of the International Canoe Federation, distinguished guests, it is an honor to address you all on this historic occasion, the 100 years of the International Canoe Federation. Although I am unable to be with you in person due to a recent ankle injury which requires surgery, I am delighted to celebrate this milestone with you virtually. The ICF's journey over the past century is a testament to its dedication, passion, and commitment to advancing the sport of canoeing worldwide. Your tireless efforts have elevated the sport and inspired countless athletes and enthusiasts around the globe, creating a community that values teamwork and resilience. As the President of World Archery and the Turkish Olympic Committee, it brings me great pride to see this milestone celebrated here in Turkey, a country that shares a deep passion for sports and Olympic values. The ICF's work in promoting both grassroots and elite levels of canoeing aligns perfectly with our shared goals of supporting athletes, encouraging youth participation, and fostering unity through sport. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the ICF on reaching this milestone. May this Congress inspire even greater achievements and deeper collaboration in the years to come. I wish you all a productive Congress and a memorable celebration. Thank you and congratulations on a century of excellence.
So thank you, Ur and Albrecht. Please pass our greetings to your NOC President, former IOC EB member, who cannot join us because of his illness right now. And now we can listen a welcome message from our IOC President, Thomas Bach.
Dear President of the International Canoe Federation, my very dear friend Thomas Konietzko. Dear Olympic friends, as you celebrate your centenary, I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations to all of you at the ICF. On this milestone anniversary, you can look back with so much pride on 100 years of progress. It is only fitting that you should celebrate your anniversary in an Olympic year when canoe sport returned to Paris, the place where it all began 100 years ago. In an early sign that your sport was already then ahead of its time, canoe made its debut as a demonstration sport at the Olympic Games Paris 1924. That is even 12 years before becoming a full Olympic medal sport in 1936. Back in 1924, 4 national canoe federations founded the organization that would become the ICF in 1946. Since these humble beginnings, ICF has not stopped growing. Today, your 170 national federations underline in an impressive way that canoe has grown to a truly global sport with worldwide appeal. The Olympic and Paralympic Games Paris 2024 were the latest demonstration of the strong standing of canoe at the Olympic Games. The amazing performances of your athletes celebrated your sport and your community at its best. The Olympic Games Paris 2024 were truly Olympic Games of a new era. Younger, more urban, more inclusive, more sustainable. The very first Olympic Games with full gender parity. The first Olympic Games fully in line with our Olympic agenda from start to finish. With the outstanding success of the Olympic canoe competitions, everyone at ICF played an essential part in writing this new chapter of Olympic history. For this, you can rightly be very proud forever. The strong standing of canoe in Olympic sport today is also thanks to all of you. At ICF, you have always understood how to embrace change. In this respect, I would like to in particular highlight the dynamic leadership of your president, my very dear friend Tomasz Konietzko, who with all his energy and drive is making ICF into a truly global organization. Always building on the strong legacy of his predecessor, my very dear friend José Perurena. Whether developing your sport with new formats, like Canoe Kayak Cross that we saw in Paris, whether reaching new and younger audiences through digital engagement, promoting inclusion and gender equality on and off the watercourse, stepping up the fight against doping, or strengthening sustainability. With these and so many more initiatives, you're embracing change. You're transforming ICF into an organization with a global reach, and you're strengthening the role of sport in society. Today, the ICF and the IOC enjoy strong partnership. We are working together towards the realization of Olympic Agenda 2020+5, fully focused on contributing to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is why I would like to thank all of you at ICF for the important work you are doing day in and day out to promote sport and its values in a truly outstanding way. Building on this momentum, indeed building on a century of progress, you have every reason to look to the future with great confidence. As you look to this bright future, let me reiterate that you can always count on the IOC as a partner by your side to promote our shared Olympic values of peace and solidarity. Because it is only by joining hands that we can live our Olympic motto: faster, higher, stronger, together. In this Olympic spirit, I wish you a wonderful anniversary celebration and all the best for at least the next 100 years. Happy birthday, ICF, ad multos annos.
High praise for our federation by our president, dear Thomas Bach, but I can say confidently, we deserve this. And now, let's continue with some housekeepings, and I pass the floor to Richard.
Okay. So, nice to see you all, and welcome to our Congress. Just to pop through a few housekeeping rules. Most important one, we have a coffee break at 10:35. The voting process, we have two forms of voting in this room. One is an endorsement, which will simply be done by a show of hands. And the second will be explained by Karen in a minute, the voting process. It's the same voting process that we had for the last 2 congresses, so the system should be relatively familiar with many of you in the room. Translation is on the headsets. You should have had an explanation of this on the way in. If there's any challenges with that, please just raise your hand, and one of my colleagues, Thomas, will come round and help you out. The Congress is being live streamed today, so it is available on YouTube. If you have any colleagues, people outside the room, please just share the link. Yesterday, we had an important decision on the Code of Ethics, and we approved that as a board. But we will look to, we published that paper last night following that meeting, and we will look to approve that here at the Congress tomorrow. So I would encourage you all to read that document later today. Mike Chambers, our ethics chair, will do a presentation on that tomorrow, and we'll be happy to receive any questions. On that note, 4 questions. Simply raise your hand and state your name and national federation if you wish to speak. The microphones will then be handed to you so you can easily communicate. This year, Daniel Woodward will present the statutes and the rule changes, so we have a consistent presenter, and that will allow us to move forward effectively and efficiently. We have a number of rule changes and statute changes that are crucial over the next few days to help our organisation move forward, and we appreciate your support in reviewing those. All the documents are available on our website. In the top right-hand corner, you will see the governance link, and under there you will see the link to the Congress. Should you have any issues finding those, please, again, ask one of our colleagues that's over at the far right-hand side. With that said, I invite Karen to the stage to do an introduction on the voting system. He's just coming.
That one. Thank you. Okay, so it's all about technology. That is also the case with the voting system. I hope the majority of you already recognize what we will be doing today. You have been all invited via an email, and hopefully you find this email on your telephone that you have with you at the moment. Okay. If you have a proxy, you have received a separate email, so you can log in for your proxy as well. In the first mail that you use for yourself, you will find a direct link, meaning a big red line. You click on it and you're automatically logged in. That's the easiest. Okay. The voting is secured by TLS version 2 or higher. When you select an answer, you will see the background of the answer that you select change color, as indicated in the slide. And you will receive a message, which apparently is not on every telephone visible, but on most phones it will be visible. But the most important is if you see the background of the answer change color, that means that you have cast your vote. Results of all votings are only visible in the room on the screen. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, this is an example of the email that you should have received, all of you. If you have not received it, please come forward and tell us, because then we have time to solve the issue before we actually start voting. Next slide, please. You click the link, and as soon as you click the link, you will see the message as it's displayed on screen right now. So it only says you have successfully logged in. That's all you need to see. Only when voting opens, you will see the actual question and the answers that you can vote for. Next, please. So this is what a question will look like. Next, please. And if you click it, you will see that the answer of your choice turns green. Next, please. If you want to change your vote, simply click the bar again, the answer again. The background will turn back to the original color. And next, please, you can make another choice. So only one choice for most votes is possible. If you have a proxy vote, you can click on the proxy button at the right top of your screen, and you can insert the credentials that you received in a second mail. And as you see, the basic way of voting is exactly the same for your proxy vote. So you can switch between the home button and the proxy to go from your own vote to your proxy vote if that is applicable. And in all, can I have the next one, please? In every case, you will see the message that you have to wait for the next question in both your proxy and your own vote. Is there anyone who has any questions about the voting? Is there anyone who has not received the email yet? If so, or if you have problems logging into the system, Thomas and Sebastian are both in the room to help you logging in if needed. If no comments, I will start with the test vote. Give me a second to go back to my... I see a hand there. Okay, help is on its way? Good. As you see, voting is open now, so may I please ask you all to cast your votes. At this moment, we are with 82 voting delegates. So I would like to have all 82 votes. Thank you. Apparently we are waiting for one final email address to insert, so please give us a little time. Thank you.
Are there any people in the room that have a vote, that are struggling to vote? Please raise your hand. I think we're getting close to the number of people in the room, but until we do the roll call, we don't know exactly the number. So please raise your hand if you have any issues or haven't received the email. If not, I think we're at a stage when we can move forward. Right.
Starting with a roll call and then identify those.
Okay, I think we're okay to start with the roll call. Karen, are you able to? We have 72 people in the room that were able to deliver their votes. 2 abstentions. Let's hope that doesn't continue. Okay, I'd like to proceed with the roll call. Where's she gone?
Carrie, where are you?
Karen.
Karen. We kindly ask you to carry on, start with the roll call, and then later on we can identify if there are still some problems and can solve the problems with the voting system, because we still have a little bit time until we have the first vote.
Who's? Oh, we can move forward.
Let's move on and send this invitation
Yeah.
to these countries which
Okay, so
missed the email.
We have only two in the room, so no problem. Okay, so we can move forward with the roll call. We can take note of those countries in a traditional fashion.
Who's doing a roll call?
You just need to press the button. So she needs to press. Okay, we're ready to do the roll call. So simply 2 minutes? Okay. On the one hand, it's taking a couple of minutes to sort the technology. On the other hand, it saves me calling out every nation one by one. So there is a benefit to a little bit of a pause. Here we go. So all of your names are on the screen. If you please simply press your button. Last one to press. We'll have to buy all the coffees later. if you have a proxy vote, you need to push for both.
Who's carrying?
Okay, if the representative of Slovenia would like to log in, I can help them out there, so please come over here.
And we need here support for Nigeria. Got the email but is disabled.
So anyone who has a problem logging in and is present here in the room, please come to the desk and I can help you log in. Thank you.
Is India here in the room? Russian? No, no, they are not here. Macedonian? No. Slovenia struggling. Somalia, I think they arrived just, okay. Sudan? No, not in the room. San Martin is still struggling with mobile. Uganda. No, not in the room.
Tunisia is here.
But Tunisia is fine.
Yes, but has the proxy of Peru.
Ah, Tunisia?
Has a proxy. The proxy of Peru.
You have a proxy or a vote for Peru. You have to click this button as well. Mosen, you know how? Can you please help Mosen, Tunisia, to register the proxy?
Okay. I think should we move on?
So we have still some problems, but we need a proper voting system in place for legal requirements, especially if you're following our proposal to move headquarters to Hungary. So that's why we have to fix this problem, but we propose to continue this appointment of scrutineers right now. This is something where those federations can raise hands which couldn't register themselves right now. We can completely do it by show of hands. Richard, please.
Yeah. So, we have three scrutineers. There we go. Jose Perena, who you all know, Mike Chambers, who's the chair of our Ethics Commission, and Helen Brownlee, who of course you all know as well. Do you approve these three people as the scrutineers for this Congress? Please show by a raise of hands. Okay, approved. Thank you.
And we So we just discussed that we can do next motion also with showing your hands, but this is an important one for several legal reasons we have to record exactly the number of voters for the next topic. This is approval of the Congress agenda. Are there any questions regarding the Congress agenda? Nothing new? Then I kindly ask you to raise your hands. In the first round, only those delegates who represent the federation, and in the second round, the proxies. So then we can count it together. Is that a good proposal? So now, only for your federation, if you are voting delegate, raise your hand if you approve the agenda of our Congress. Thank you. Against? Against? Mosen? You are against the agenda? No. Okay. Abstentions? So now second round, only if you have an approved proxy. Use this proxy vote now and confirm our agenda. Please raise hands if you have a proxy. Mosen, I think you have a proxy. Okay, thank you. All those with proxies, is there someone against the agenda? No abstention? Unanimously approved. Sorry for making that so complicated, but some laws are also complicated, which we have to consider. So then let's continue with the approval of minutes from previous Congress. Same exercise. First round, those who are voting delegates only for their federation. Second round, those who has a proxy, carrying a proxy. Who is in favor to approve the minutes from the previous Congress? Raise hands now. Thank you. Against? Abstention? No. Second round, same vote, proxy. Who is carrying a proxy and approves the minutes? Please raise hand now. Against? Abstentions? Unanimously approved. Even this exercise was successful. And we are moving on to item 7, new member application. I hand over to Richard.
Okay. We have a new member application from the Central African Republic. All documents received have been approved by our board, and we would submit this forward for them to become a new member.
Is Central African Republic here in the room and want to present themselves? That's not the case, but
We would still.
the board.
Joao, maybe?
Joao, you want to say something in regards to application of membership of the Central African Republic?
Merci, Président. Bon, je voulais seulement ajouter que je suis en conversation avec le comité olympique de la République centrafricaine. Ils ont tout l'appui du comité olympique et je pense que c'est une bonne idée d'approuver une fédération de plus pour l'Afrique et on va travailler ensemble pour voir qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire pour que cette fédération dans l'avenir puisse effectivement rentrer bien dans notre famille. Merci.
So, thank you, Joao. Board proposed to approve this motion to confirm membership of this country.
I'm sorry to interfere, but if need be, we can do this with the electronic voting system.
Wow, that would be great.
Okay then.
Let's do it as another exercise. So, but before we have to count the total number of delegates and proxies here to know what is majority. So then let's finish a roll call with the number of federations.
We have a total of 82 countries in the room. So the final result of the roll call is 82.
Okay, thank you. 82 federations, including proxies. We are still missing some federations, which will arrive later. And then we have to do another roll call. At latest if everyone arrived. Okay, then let's go to resolution 4. The Congress approves the Central African Republic Federation as a new ICF member. Please vote now.
Start to make your way for the short presentation next.
If anyone has a problem with voting with our devices or your mobile, please raise your hand. Do we have to announce the single majority and two-thirds majority?
That's what we're going for.
What?
The sit one.
I will close the vote in 15 seconds. So vote is closed. "78 votes, 74 in favor, 4 abstentions. Congratulations to the Central African Republic as 172nd Federation. And now we can move on with my president's report.
Exactly.
Dear colleagues, friends, stakeholders, I will be brief today as much of what I cover will be covered in more detail later on the reports of my colleagues. I will just mention a few of the most important topics that we have tackled during our office. And let me remind you that the environment in the last 3 years has not been easy. We took the office in the midst of the COVID pandemic and had to take a decision about participation of Russian and Belarusian athletes in a balanced way, which, by the way, served later as a role model for other international federations, just to mention some challenges. After almost 20 successful years under the leadership of my predecessor and friend Pachi, we agreed that a new structure within the ICF office was needed, along with new people in key positions in our headquarters. We quickly realized that if we really wanted to address all the important issues in a high-quality manner, we did not have sufficient human resources. We have therefore reduced both individual wage costs in Lausanne to be able to hire additional employees with the amount saved. This has helped, and I think we can all already see the progress. With 7 employees right now in Hangzhou, 4 of them will start their job on the 1st of December, and at the end of the year, 11 in Hangzhou. And if the Congress agrees today with our proposal to move the headquarters to Budapest with 15 new employees in Hungary, we will then have more than enough to cover all tasks. The next step is to introduce efficient office structures so that our entire sport benefits from the new human resources. And the additional expenditure for personnel costs does not mean that cuts have to be made in other areas. On the contrary, as the additional funds provided for the offices are coming from the city of Hangzhou and the Hungarian government, we propose in our budget for the next 2 years to provide more money for development activities and support for special projects and for the support of our continental federations. We have been able in the last 3 years to generate more income, and in particular, we could improve the ratio between income from the IOC and other revenues. Here, we actually had the last place in the ranking of all international Olympic federations, which prevented us from achieving a better ranking in the ASOAF evolution overall. In 2021, 91% of all of our revenues came from the IOC, and provided you approved the budget today, it will be 60% in the new cycle, and we can almost double our overall budget. This is also due to the greater interest in our sport from sponsors, and I'm delighted that we have been able to find numerous new supporters and sponsors in the last 3 years. Without you, dear friends, supporters, sponsors, we would not be able to advance our sport. More information on the budget will be provided later under the corresponding agenda item. Another goal was to make our sport more global. We are popular, very popular in Europe, have many fans here, and also hold most of our international competitions in Europe. However, this also prevents us from convincing more fans of our sport globally. We can hardly grow in Europe anymore. If we want to grow, it only happens on the other continents. That's why we have to be more present there, organize more competitions there, and also promote our sport there, specifically on social media. The first steps in this direction have been taken, with future World Championships and World Cups also being awarded to America, to the American continent, to the Asian continent, and to the Oceanian continent. We organized, just to mention some, 2024 first Sprint World Championship in Samarkand, the first ever on Asian soil. We organized just a couple of weeks ago a successful canoe polo World Championship in China, followed by the Dragon Boat World Championship at the Philippines last week, which saw a record number of participating national federations. The decision to award events to new venues around the globe was a challenge and is a challenge, also for our staff, but it has helped to boost the global profile of our sport. With our contract with CCTV, the biggest Chinese TV station, we have already been able to successfully pursue this path in China and Asia. And the focus is now on the USA, the American continent, and the Asian continent. The World Slalom Championship will take place in Australia next year, and in 2026 in Oklahoma, and we have been able to organize many competitions in Asia and America over the last 3 years. And I mentioned just now Oklahoma, and I have to say that the biggest success for our team, for myself, for all of us, in our 3 years in the office was that we found a host for the 2028 Games in the city of Oklahoma, USA, and that this was confirmed by the IOC and by the LA organizing committee. From here, many thanks to Beth and the American Canoe Association, who helps a lot to make this possible. And it sounds very simple now, but behind the scenes it was more difficult to negotiate because the city of Oklahoma has to pay a huge amount to the organizing committee in LA for the right to host the games. We saved slalom, and this is a great success for our federation. We try to become even more transparent and disseminate information better while integrating our stakeholders more effectively. We promised to involve as many colleagues as possible before making decisions and to share relevant information better. Unfortunately, I have to admit that we didn't always manage to do this due to a lack of time, and we have still space for improvement in this area. However, with the President's letter, with the newly adapted ICF newsletter, with a lot of personal exchanges, which also serves with a lot of personal exchanges, we have broken new ground in sharing important information more effectively between us. We have adapted and redirected our programs in the area of development. This was also a learning process for us, and we quickly realized that the additional employees we had planned for each continent as development manager did not work. We therefore adapted the program and reallocated the funds originally earmarked for employees to the development of hubs on our continents and of joint projects that benefited the many national federations on their respective continents. With our new hubs in Nigeria, the first in West Africa, where we also held an international ICF competition and additional the continental qualification for the first time in our history in this part. And with the hub in Pattaya, Thailand, where we held a joint training and tip camp for athletes from Asian National Federation, we have made progress here without reducing the traditional and successful tools of development support as tip camps or equipment donations. We had to adapt our digital and broadcasting strategy, launched an innovative streaming approach, and increasing the engagement and reach while finding cost-effective ways to balance the investment. We have advanced the TV and broadcasting distribution, delivering a record number of live and on-demand hours and a record number of traffic in our social media channels in 2023 and 2024. And we were able to generate significantly more funds from TV rights and streaming offers. Here too, we had to learn. And not everything we did was a success. The streaming platform we originally chose was not only very complicated, but unfortunately had to file for bankruptcy at the end of the season 23. We therefore decided at short notice to offer live streaming behind a paywall on YouTube. It is not the cost-effective option, but at this time it was the best one. But at least we were able to generate around 70,000 euros after deducting all the costs this year. That sounds like a lot and is more than we have ever earned before. However, we have to raise about 1 million euros every year for the production of the television signal for our World Cups. And now I come to the most important part of my report, a summary of our most important task as ICF, organizing competitions for our disciplines and athletes. And that was between 34 and 39 World Cups and World Championships every year. The highlight was undoubtedly the Olympic and Paralympic Games in Paris. Under the clever and successful leadership of our friend Tony, whom I would like to greet from here and who unfortunately could not come and join us, we were able to experience outstanding games. The best of all times, for me, at least the best that I have been able to attend in the last 20 years, and probably the most successful for our sport. Almost all of our competitions were sold out. I did a rough calculation and think that about 200,000 fans attended our competitions and bought tickets. I don't think any of us will forget the incredible atmosphere at our competitions. We were able to present a new innovative format on the Olympic stage with kayak cross, and we have thus proven that we are ready to adapt to new trends as a sport and as a federation. This has also helped us to further improve our image as an innovative and progressive sport in the Olympic movement, what also our IOC President just highlighted in his video message. And I would like to give a special thanks to our Honorary President Pachi, who, with his vote on the end, ensured that the board 2021 achieved a majority for including kayak cross. And that was not an easy process. Thanks, Pachi, again. Yes, and I too have learned from this discussion and drawn for myself important conclusions. The structure of the executive board at that time, with one vice president each for whitewater and flatwater, mean that the vice presidents had to defend their respective sports, and we did not manage to think beyond our respective disciplines. Therefore, one of my first official acts was to abolish this separation and make only one vice president, our friend Louis, responsible for all our disciplines. I don't want to go into further details of all the other important competitions in the last 3 years and leave this to our chairs, which want to report later. However, I would like to take this opportunity to explicitly thank all our organizers of international competitions on which we and our sport depend and which are the base of our sport. What I would like to mention, however, is my fundamental perception that we must do a better job of seeing ourselves as one sport with all our different disciplines. Every discipline has many fans, but they usually stay in their bubbles and have little interest in other canoeing disciplines. We have to find ways to actually interest our fans across all the bubbles for all our disciplines, to use our potential much better. We were able to take a first step in this direction with our Super Cup in Hangzhou, thanks to our Chinese friends from Chinese Canoe Association, which helped a lot, where we were able to combine 5 disciplines into one competition and organize a compact final program consist of 5 different disciplines within 2 hours on 3 days. And in fact, many athletes admitted that it was the first time they had watched finals in other disciplines and that they had enjoyed it very much. And I think we should continue along this path. Finally, I would like to thank all our national federations for their commitment to further developing our sport. I would like to thank my board, my executive committee, which we have not always made it easy with our many ideas, and yet has always made the important decisions amicably. And of course, I would like to thank our employees in the office and our Secretary General, who we have sometimes pushed to their limits and beyond sometimes, and who have done much more than just their job in our federation. And I personally know that I have sometimes challenged my board, challenged my exco, challenged our staff as well. Thank you for slowing me down where I was going too fast, and thank you for always being there with help and advice. I think we can be proud of what we have achieved together. We have further strengthened our position in the Olympic movement. We have an IOC member in our ranks in the person of Jess Fox, and in Tony we have some very influential people in the Olympic movement. And also our work as ICF board and EXCO as a federation has been appreciated by many other international federations, and especially also by the leadership of the IOC what we could just realize with Thomas' greetings. Let us continue on this course together here and in the coming days, and let's set here in Antalya the right course for another successful future for our federation. Thanks for your attention. It's amazing to watch these videos and to realize what a beautiful spot we are representing and where we are responsible for. And one who has the most responsibility is our Secretary General, and I ask you to give your report right now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thomas, my person that challenges me every day. It's an absolute pleasure to follow you and to work with you. And as you've just outlined, achieved so much over the last 2 years. I'd like to also extend that thanks to the Vice President and, of course, the rest of the board and everyone else in this room. It's been an incredible couple of years. 2 years ago, I stood here on the same podium after starting 2 months earlier in the job, and it was probably one of my trickiest challenges to run a Congress after only being in the position for 2 months, but it was an absolute pleasure to do that, and it's great to see the progress that we've made. I'm going to start my overview with exactly what we agreed last time, and that was to deliver on Fit for Future. We have a lot of challenges and opportunities in our sport, and we always fight every day to make sure that it is a sport that's achieving, a sport that's moving forward, and a sport that's changing people's lives. As we can see, we started with supporting athletes, and to my left, we have our athletes chair, Bridget. We've done a lot to support athletes further over the last 2 years. We've really driven the participation at events. We've seen huge increase across all of our disciplines. We've driven the amount of money we've put into development. We've increased the number of athletes that have access to our sport, and we've delivered on such things as refugee athletes at the Olympic Games. In addition, we've continued to strengthen our governance, and as Thomas mentioned, in the ASWIF report, governance review, we achieved our best ever result, showcasing that we're continuing to advance in all areas across the board in transparency and reporting. We continue to look to maximize synergies across the board, and We have been to more federations, met with more people, spoken about how we can drive the sport forward, and looked at how we can work together with all of you in the room to help drive the sport at every level. We've continued to develop globally, and Cecilia will touch more on this later in her presentation, but it's an amazing drive from the team to look at how we can further get more revenue from Olympic solidarity than we ever had before, and to continue to increase the number of development opportunities across the globe. We've worked tirelessly on climate positive actions, working with our partners, looking at how we can make our events more sustainable. We've looked at how we can celebrate emotions across the board, and we saw amazing images of our sport from Paris went across the globe, and this was the most successful TV distribution we've ever had and the best images we've ever had from an Olympic Games. We've looked at how we elevate competition, and I have to say a huge thanks to our new events team who've worked tirelessly with every organizer to try and drive change and increase the quality of our events. And we've changed our revenue generation model, and it's amazing to say that we will increase significantly our budget over the next cycle. I just wanted to highlight a few numbers. 64 events delivered by our team, 2 amazing experiences in Paris, 128% increase on our social media followers, which now stands over 500,000. We had 282 million views across our social media over the last year alone, and we have 8 new partners this year to celebrate. In the next cycle, we will increase the budget by 5 million. We will have potentially up to 38 plus staff working for our organisation. We will look to maintain a reserve of above 10 million moving forward, and we will have our first ever paddle sport summit. In addition to what we delivered in Fit for Future and we continue to deliver, we will have 5 new topics that we will look to focus on as a board and as a collective. These 5 topics are increasing our administration support, strengthening our governance, advancing our development model, evolving our event delivery, and delivering on digital. I want to talk a little bit more here about how we've optimized our current structure. As Thomas mentioned, we refined our team in Lausanne. We now stand at 7.5 individuals in Lausanne. This is a great team, and we've reshaped that team into 4 different departments, and we have 7 freelancers that work on specific topics. Moving forward, in May, we had the opportunity to start our new office in China. This is a great drive forward and has really changed the way that we are able to operate in this region. We now have 7 people in China, 7.5 in Switzerland, and 7 in freelance. Now we look at one of the major opportunities we have moving forward, and this is to establish a new headquarters in Hungary. There is an opportunity, we have the opportunity to have an additional 1.5 million over the next 10 years, each year annually, to help run this office. We have the opportunity to grow operationally across the board. We have the ability to enhance our viability and strategic positioning. And we will also be able to preserve the governance and autonomy of our organisation through this move. This move will allow us to have a strong base of staff, allowing us to really support the actions and opportunities to deliver more effectively in the future. The key point here is that we will have 15 plus more staff in Hungary, allowing us to reach up to 34 staff in total, and really helping us drive forward. Supporting these 5 key pillars moving forward is the look to relaunch our organisation in 2026 under a new name, Paddle Worldwide. I want to just now play a video to show us what that is.
Throughout every continent and across every waterway, we are connected by a shared passion. Whether it's on tranquil rivers, expansive lakes, or roaring rapids, we are a global community bound by the collective strength of our federations, athletes, and fans. Our sport thrives through community and is inspired through experience. We come together to compete, share, learn, and celebrate. From grassroots to podium success, we will make a positive, sustainable impact worldwide, shaping the future of paddle sport and ensuring that every generation has the tools to succeed. We are committed to building for the future, protecting our waterways and preserving our passion for years to come. And now, as we look forward, we unite under a new name, Paddle Worldwide.
As mentioned by Thomas, we have the opportunity over the next 2 years to really build this brand and have a review of all of our governance structures and our organisation to drive us forward, to be ready to launch this new brand, our organisation under a new name in Congress 2026. Our board approved the name Paddle Worldwide in the meeting in April. Today, we will ask you to endorse that name and also approve the statute changes required to activate the office in Hungary. Next year, we will work tirelessly to ensure that we do a full organisational review to make sure we are in a fantastic position to drive our sport forward. And the Congress in 2026, we will look to relaunch our federation under the new name of Paddle Worldwide and to relaunch that with our new organisational structure driving us forward. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions regarding President's and Secretary General's report right now? So as Richard said, we want to propose to you now to endorse in a vote the name change which will come in place not before 2026. Again, it means we agree today that we want to introduce a new modern name which covers all our activities, and then all committees, organizers, Continental Association has time to adopt their own name, and 2026 officially we are using then this new name. Now it's an endorsement. And I hand over to Richard.
Okay, we do it via that. Okay, so simply, do you agree to adopt this resolution? Yes, no, or abstention? Oh, why have you got a show of hands? We will do it electronically rather than on the show of hands, as it says.
Are they ready with
Are
the
you
motion
ready?
electronically?
Okay. So we'll do it via show of hands for simplicity. So, do you agree to adopt the resolution? Yes. If yes, please show your hands. Okay. Any no? Any no's in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I can count
6.
I can count six. 6
6
no's.
no's. Any
Abstention?
abstentions? 1,
2.
2.
3. 3 abstentions.
So, so, 4. So, resolution
So
approved.
resolution has passed, and this is a historical moment for our federation. We not rest on our laurels, and I know we all love our name, the current one, ICF, but a changing society and changing environment forced us to change ourselves, and we want to express our gratitude for the huge endorsement of the new name change, and the next Congress will already take place under the new name Paddle Worldwide.
And the proxies will not.
So, next topic, it's a more comfortable one because I call for a break until 11:15. So, please, in front, you can take coffee and some snacks. Thank you. See you in 20 minutes.
Holding me back, gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say, but everything gets in the way. Seems you cannot be replaced, and I'm the one who will stay. Oh, oh, oh. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. tearing up my vocal cords to sit right next to you. 'Cause you smoke inside and now all the time my clothes, they smell of you. I'm messing up my sleep and now I'm tired all the time. But I wake up when I see you. You make me feel like you are mine. Because of you, I seem to remember the story of love. Because of you, I seem to remember the things that I'm capable of. I never wait, I'm too impatient that you're taking too much time. 'Cause I want you to be passionate. Push me against the wall, I'm fine. Oh, I never said a word about the things deep in my heart. The fire takes on over, turn me down, tear me apart. Because of you, I seem to remember the story of love. Because of you, I seem to remember the things that I'm capable of. Because of you, I seem to remember the things that I'm capable of.
I find I'm starting to believe this is all a dream, or someone playing tricks on me. I take no comfort or relief in playing out the scene where love's no guarantee. I've fallen for your beautiful face, and I never ever could replace you, girl. I'm hoping that it turns out true, so I can try to give to you the world. I wanna give you the world. Wanna give you the sun and the moon. Wanna gather up under the flowers, say a million I love yous. I want you to love wherever you may go. Baby, all I really need you to know, I wanna give you my world. Wanna give you my world. I pick the stars up one by one. Take great care to leave none. When it gets dark, baby, I'll come run. Share my coat, share my home. This is where you belong. You never gotta be alone. try to give to you the world. I wanna give you the world. Wanna give you the sun and the moon. Wanna gather up under the flowers. Stay a million I love yous. I want to love wherever you may go. Baby, all I really need you to know. I wanna give you my world. I wanna give you my world. Ooh, I wanna give you my world. I wanna give you my world. I wanna give you my If you see me, know that I'm not broken. And even though my head may be low, I will not lose hope. If you notice that my smile's not the same, some friends I lost on the way, but I still have faith. Feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. Feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. You gotta learn to let go. Feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. If you heard rumors that I lost my way, my fight may be in the dark, but I won't break. If you feel I'm alone, no, the Lord is my home. And when I pray, He strengthens me. And spoke these words: you must feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. Feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. You gotta learn to let go. Feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. Feel the
'cause they're long, long, long gone. No more fantasizing. What could have been another song? Though I'm running late, my train is right behind. It takes as long as it takes. It could take my whole life, and I'll still be right on time. I got good vibrations, baby, on the way home. I got good vibrations coming through my headphones. Give me good vibrations, baby, all the way home. Give me good vibrations. Give me good vibrations. I'm coming home the long way, in case I pass you by again. Out of my luck now, soon I'll be out of time. It takes as long as it takes. It could take my whole life, but somewhere in the distance you're mine, mine, mine. I got good vibrations, baby, on the way home. I got good vibrations coming through my headphones. Give me good vibrations, baby, all the way home. Give me good vibrations. Give me good vibrations. We got good vibrations, baby, on the way home. We got good vibrations when we share headphones. Give me good vibrations, baby, all the way home. Give me good vibrations. Give me good vibrations. Give me good vibrations, baby, all the way home. Give me good vibrations. Give me good vibrations. I look in the mirror, seeing dreams of gold. 10 years old, thinking I could fly. It's all familiar, but the blood seeps down. It will come around from underneath the layers of time. It goes unnoticed, barely felt out of focus, like a black cat in the street at night, like a devil in disguise. It settles slowly, unaware we are hosting in our minds. Life's gone by like parasites, now they're living on a mind. I look in the mirror, seeing dreams of gold. 10 years old, thinking I could fly. It's all familiar, but the blood seeps down. It won't come around from underneath the layers of time. Shed it like a snake and write a new story, leaving scars behind her that were never mine. I'ma rewrite, break the cycle. This is my life, letting this go. Listen very closely, there's a bloodline changing course. I look in the mirror, seeing dreams of gold. 10 years old, thinking I could fly. It's all familiar, but the blood seeps down. It will come around from underneath the layers of time. Layers of time. Layers of time. I bet you taste like peppermint. You smell like damp pavement. Come through my door and be my fire's replacement. Your lips I often dream of, and I've lost count of the times you've caught me looking at you. It used to be me wanting you visually, mentally, but we've gone far past that now. We're in a new realm now. Just learn me inside out. I promise I won't move about. I want your hands over me, like my body. You got me losing sleep over you. I usually sit still, but now I can help but move when I see you. I don't know what to do. Baby, you're making me sweat all the time. Every time your eyes meet mine, I come alive. My heart subsides. Why do I crave your attention? Did I forget to mention that you remind me of the ocean, lifting me out into space? Forget the calm, forget the warm. I want the pain, bring on the storm. I'm ready for your love now, like I've never been before. It used to be me wanting you visually, mentally, but we've gone far past that now. We're in a new realm now. Just learn me inside out. I promise I won't move about. I want your
Xavier, please come to the desk. El presidente de España, please to come to the desk.
Remember the first time that your shadow crossed my door. The sun from the shoreline made dust stains across my door. Easy days are healing the scars from the battles that we won. Now read the headline says there's harder roads to come.
Say the sea gets harder and the drums be louder and the world seem colder. Singing
Please take your seats.
and the times get harder. World's weight upon us, but it don't mean nothing.
Hello everyone, can you please start making your way back into the room? Thank you. Okay, we will look to start again very shortly. Please take your seats.
So we extend a little bit our break. Now we have to hurry up to really cover the agenda, and I think we still miss the announcement of the total number of delegates, votes, and quorum for minutes from all eligible federations who fulfilled their obligations. We need 59 for quorum. We have right now present 83 votes. That means we reached the quorum. Two-thirds majority needs 56 votes. That may be changed if additional federations are arriving here, but then we will inform you about the new numbers. Then let's continue with topic 11, approval of 2022 and 2023 auditors' reports. So you can find the reports on our website, the dedicated Congress website. Are there any questions in regard to the auditors' reports? looks as this is not the case, and now we fix the voting system, and I hand over to Richard.
So the resolution is the Congress approves the 2022 and 2023 Auditor's Report, stating that there is no further audits will be required. The vote is now open. Okay, vote will close in 20 seconds or so. Okay. So everyone had the chance to vote? If not, we will close the voting. Can you now please confirm the result? Vote is approved. Resolution is approved. Okay.
So thank you, Richard. Let's carry on with the next topics. The reports of vice presidents and the treasurer. And because the treasurer is keeping two positions, also the additional as acting vice president, he can begin to present the report. Good luck.
Two jobs, but the same salary. Yeah. Thanks, President. Thanks, colleague of the board, and dear all. It is always a pleasure to have the opportunity to talk with you. And I know that it's not the first time for me, but believe me, it's really a great emotion because I have a very good sense of the responsibility, first of all, for the trust that you give me in these last 12 years. And I will spend some words before I enter in the details of the report. Many of us remember when we start in this position, and I presented only one page for the report of the budget. Only one page is really a summary of some amount and not anything details. A real no transparency situation. Today, we, and when I said we, I mean the President, the Vice President, the General Secretary, all the colleagues of the board, and the opinion of most of us, or most of you, we arrived to present a good situation with the details, with more information, and first of all, with a lot and number, but first in transparency communication. For this, we are proud to present you an exhaustive report on the last 2 years because after, with the step of the quality, the General Secretary inform you of the next budget for the next 2 years. This, my report, represents the final photo, the picture of our entire activity. In particular, realizes with the facts the initial message of our president. Do you remember? More activity, reduce the cost, improve the revenue, and transparency. Following these values and this message, I can guarantee you that we worked very much. We worked together very much. And we have a good financial situation. I can guarantee that we have a good financial situation. But also significantly expanded the hit with important initiative, especially the initiative that show you the president. This means more opportunity for our federation, for entire our federation. Well, dear delegate, now we enter in the report. And it's a pleasure to present this year's financial report. Why? I will be covering our financial performance, recent strategy initiative, and the Federation's forward-looking financial strategy. Is the first time. And overview financial position. As we near the end of the 2023-24 budget cycle, I am pleased to report that our financial position remains robust. We are projecting a reserve of over 9 million euros by the end of this period, excluding the IOC revenue distribution from Paris 2024. Revenue growth has been strong, thanks to new sponsorship, thanks increased television and digital income, event hosting fee, and strategic partnership. We also received the first IOC payment of $7.2 million in September. 2 more installments will follow, with the final in April 2025. But we must always be taken into account that today are many variables, and these variables are unthinkable. Every day, some day start the war, some day start the crisis, economic crisis, some day, fortunately in the past, we support the COVID. This is a lot of variables. Which is the key financial message? The bond portfolio performance, first of all. Our bond portfolio, I am very happy to say you, performing well with a positive return of +3%. It's very good result in this market, in this moment. The recent decrease in interest rates has supported the performance, reflecting a prudential investment strategy. I repeat it again, we use always conservative and prudential strategic investment. Currency exposure misalignment, a priority for us is addressing currency exposure with 74% in euro and 22% in Swiss franc. We are closely working with BCV. We changed from Vontobel to BCV, Banque Cantonale Vaudois, and we're working with him to develop a long-term currency management strategy that aligns with our needs, especially for liquidity. And in this way, in this moment, with this bank, we realize a very efficient situation. Recent strategy initiative. For this, the transition to BCV. We transferred our account to BCV, allowing us the thoroughly review on investment strategy. This consolidation have given us greatest insight into our financial position and improved out operational efficiency. Partnership with Deloitte. Deloitte is the company that I hope that you know, because it's one of the first advisors in the world. Since 2023, Deloitte has managed our internal accounting, providing us with the flexibility and high-level advice. Through this partnership, we have modernized our account systems, revamped the invoicing process, and are moving towards fully digitizing expenses management, real-time financial dashboard. This is very, very important point, because we have, at the meantime, the control of our investment, the time, and the expired time. We have introduced comprehensive financial dashboards, providing near real-time financial visibility to support faster, more informed decisions. We introduced financial commission. We established a new financial commission, chaired by Marie Burnett. Thanks a lot for your support, with members from UK, USA, and Azerbaijan. They have been instrumental in reviewing financial policy and supporting our financial strategy, revised budget structure, and increased project spending. We revised the budget structure, allowing for more flexibility and target resource allocation. This enabled us to increase project spending by over €4 million across key areas like development, innovation, and digitalization. But first of all, I want to give my personal thanks to Secretary General Richard for very strong and professionalism support for this activity, because without you, it's impossible to realize this. And after this, I go to conclusion. Looking ahead to 2025, we will focus on optimizing currency exposure. It's more important this way, choose the currency. Performance and sizing favorable market conditions. I am confident, finally, that we can navigate challenges and maintain our strong financial health with the same road, with the conservative and prudential strategy, and we choose with very, very attention the new bond. We can preserve the capital, minimizing risk, and ensure our financial health remain robust. Thanks a lot, because I work very well with my colleague in these 12 years, but first of all, because I receive your friendship. And thank you for your support, especially for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Luciano. Are there any questions in regards to Luciano's report? Crystal clear presented. Makes me nervous if there are no questions regarding our finance policy, but fine. I don't want to trigger you. Thank you, Luciano, for your report. And once again, thanks for a great job over the last 3 years in a double function. And when he said for the same salary, you can zero, not double up. So then I asked Cecilia to present her report.
Good morning, dear colleagues. Sports have a unique power to transcend borders and inspire change. As we look to the future, our aim is not only to oversee and elevate paddling competitions worldwide, but also to shape the sport as a model of sustainability, inclusivity, and global influence. Today, the International Canoe Federation stands at the crossroad of tradition and innovation. This vision is embodied in our Fit for Future strategy, which guides us in aligning paddling's growth with the sport's core values. Our ambition goes beyond developing participation and achieving excellence. We aim to ensure that paddling's values resonate deeply and continue to grow within communities worldwide. At the ICF, gender equality is a core principle guiding our actions. We are committed to providing women with equal opportunities to lead, compete, and inspire across all levels. We count with you all, leaders, CEOs, and Secretary Generals of national federations, to ensure that girls and women will be provided opportunities to be registered in all our activities. In 2023, we proudly hosted our first ICF Women's Symposium in Dublin, equipping women and men with the tools to take on leadership roles in sports. The motto was change locally, change globally, change together. I cannot continue my speech without saying once again thank you to the team of the Irish Canoe Federation, Moira and your team, for helping us to deliver such a wonderful event. We understand the need of producing changes to increase the number of female coaches and decision makers. To do that, we encourage the continental associations to produce a similar event in 2025. As of now, the likely candidates are in Asia, Kyoto, Japan, in Oceania, Australia, and in Africa, most probably, we will do it in a webinar format. Of course, all of this is to be confirmed and to be communicated in due time. Good governance is present in our continental associations. In the American continent, COPAC unanimously approved equal representation of both genders at its standing committees and vice presidents, while Asia secured the female representation as vice president. Both continents held elections incorporating more women to the positions that they are competent to fulfill. We also participate at training programs such as WISH and at the ones made available by ASWAF and APSO that further support this mission. At the Paris Olympic Games, we achieved gender parity not only among athletes, but also among international technical officials, highlighting our dedication to genuine equality. While we celebrate milestones like Miriam Fox Yerusalami's recognition as the IOC Women's Coach of the Year, we recognize the need to continue building on this progress, particularly as we undertake a governance review in the coming years. Women must support women, and a way of doing that is by celebrating the success of other women, coaches, athletes, officials, and leaders, and the ones that every day work behind the desks at the administration of our federations and on the race courses. Sustainability is essential to the ICF future. By aligning with the United Nations Sustainability Goal, we have set ambitious challenges for ourselves, focusing on minimizing our environmental impact while showcasing the benefits paddling can bring to our communities. In the past 2 years, we have initiated significant programs, including a sustainability panel at our last Congress and a sustainability forum during the Lee Valley Slalom Championships. These efforts culminated in publishing a Whitewater Venues report, which emphasizes our commitment to developing sustainable venues. Our collaboration with the DEC project, Developing Environmental and Circular Knowledge, and the Italian Federation, allows us to assess ecological impact and create best practices that benefit the Canoe community. Additionally, our partnership with Alibaba opens new avenues to sustainability, utilizing artificial intelligence technologies to track and optimize the carbon footprint of our venues. Paddling naturally connects us to the environment, and we must use this connection to promote sustainability values throughout our community, ensuring that every paddler understands the importance of caring for our planet. Several national federations run dedicated sustainability projects embraced by their local communities. We encourage all of them to share their actions and best practices during the ICF Sustainability Symposium that we shall have very soon. We live in challenging times, and sadly, some individuals are forced to leave their homes. The ICF is dedicated to ensuring that all paddlers, regardless of their circumstances, have the opportunity to train, compete, and belong within our sport. In recent years, we have made substantial progress in supporting refugee athletes by adapting our rules to allow their participation in international competitions. This initiative provides them with a platform to showcase their skills while aligning with our mission to make paddling accessible to everyone. Working closely with the IOC, we have developed pathways for refugee athletes to compete on the world's biggest stage, representing the strength and hope of their communities. 4 refugee paddlers have been selected to compete at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, a testament to their talent and determination. While some of our federations work on a regular basis on the domestic development and reach the most important objectives of the high-performance participation, others struggle in nations that suffer conflicts, blockages, poverty, and other challenges. All our national federations deserve a space, and they all shall be attended considering their particularities. It is there where we need the active participation of the continental associations and their representatives, as they are the best to interpret the needs of their members and the feasibility of projects on their grounds. Developing paddling activities around the world requires a multifaceted approach, supporting coaches, empowering athletes, training officials, and securing sustainable funding to fuel growth at every level. Educating coaches and enhancing their skills is crucial for developing our sport. Coaches inspire new paddlers and motivate competitive athletes. Through Olympic Solidarity, we have organized coaching seminars and regional training sessions that provide coaches with advanced techniques and strategies. In the last Olympic cycle, over 500 coaches benefited from the ICF high-level coaching education. We also support coaches by including them in development training camps, deepening their expertise and strengthening the global coaching network, which elevates standards across the sport. Performance training camps for talented athletes from development nations serve as a powerful tool for enhancing top talent. These camps equip athletes with the resources they need to excel, creating a genuine pathway to excellence. They focus on physical training, mental preparation, nutrition, and ethical conduct. Successful stories from the Paris Games reflect the impact of these camps, with athletes achieving their best potential. Notably, Algeria's Brahim Gendous won Africa's first ever para-canoe gold medal, making a history milestone. Fair competition is fundamental to every great sporting event. To maintain this standard, we must continue investing in the education of our technical officials. Their training emphasizes not only understanding the rules, but also applying them fairly and consistently, ensuring fair conditions for all the competitors. A good practice, born within COPAC, the Pan American Canoe Association, are the seminars and certifications of continental officials. Within the last 2 years, 75 sprint continental officials were certified in the Americas, and still missing one more action in Bolivia in December of this year. We also approach Central Asia in Turkestan, Kazakhstan, with this important initiative. Buenos Aires received this type of project for marathon in a successful approach to the lands beyond the Atlantic. Slalom performed a successful ITO course and examination at the Olympic venue of Deodoro in Rio de Janeiro, where the legacy of the Olympic Games for the local population becomes evident on the format of a project that transforms a disadvantaged society throughout sport. Funding is vital for our development initiatives, and the IOC Olympic Solidarity Program has been a cornerstone in supporting national Olympic committees and national federations. Through our efforts, we have secured over 1.2 million euros for NOCs and national federations, empowering us to expand training, coaching, and athlete development program. While Olympic Solidarity is a significant source of support, contributions from national federations, local governments, sponsors, and event organizers are equally essential in sustaining the ICF mission and driving the growth of paddling globally. Today, at the ICF Congress, we gather as members of the ICF community, each with a role and responsibility in developing the sport and conveying its values. The future of paddling relies on collaboration between the ICF, continental associations, and national federations. Together, we can achieve our shared goals of sustainability, gender equality, good governance, and sport development. The ICF's involvement in key regional organizations allow us to advocate for paddling's growth and influence on international stage. Building strong relationships with NOCs and local authorities is crucial for enhancing paddling's visibility and credibility. Good governance serves as the foundation of our efforts. By establishing transparent and accountable practices, we strengthen partnership and foster trust. To finalize, together we are shaping the future of paddling, ensuring it remains a sport that exemplifies sustainability, inclusivity, and global unity. The joy of the successful Olympic Games and Paralympic Games is fresh in our memory. A new cycle commences, and we cannot be oblivious to the changing sceneries of the sport. To remain relevant on the program of the Olympic Games is a process already under the observation of the ICF. A change exciting for our athletes, affordable for our national federations, rewarding for our officials. A change that still embraces our original nature and surroundings of our sport. In 4 years' time, following my last period as Vice President, I wish to be able to say that my opinion was heard and that I was able to contribute from my place to make a positive change in our sport. Until that time, let us continue to work as one, united in purpose to create a legacy that empowers generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia, for a very impressive report. Passionate presented, as you're doing everything with passion. Any questions to Cecilia? She's covering a wide range of activities. There are no questions. Thanks, Cecilia, and I'm calling Louis to give his report.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, President. Dear delegates, good morning, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain our activity during the last 2 years. And I will start with what we call internally the Olympic movement, what we did around events and Olympic movement, starting with Paris. We have been working, when we take position 3 years ago, one of the first things that we did with Thomas was traveling to Paris and meet with Tony Estanguet at that time and define a little bit our cooperation lines towards Paris 2024. And one of the first things that Tony put on the table was the new norm. And as you are all aware, IOC is pushing for this new norm. And we start discussing with Tony how we can be a little bit ahead of the expectations of the IOC through the new norm. So we were lucky in Paris. We had Tony in position, and also we had Cyril, who is back, but Cyril, as a manager of the kayaking sport, was helping big time to achieve our goals in Paris. So the results in Paris, as Thomas highlighted, I think were good, very good, I will say. But we know internally that there is a lot of room to improve. So we need to be happy about the result, but we need to be critical as well. Not critical, but we need to evaluate the job done, and we need to try to be better for the next Olympic Games coming. So that's the reason why in the last board meeting, the president decided to create a working group to analyze Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And I have the honor to chair this group that is composed by Cyril Nivel from the office and Balin Bekasi as well, as the key event managers from the ICF side and from the Paris 2024 side. And then other members from the group will be Toshi, Jean-Michel, John Edwards, Richard Fox, Kate Saez, Ian Mortimer, and Giovanna from Serbia. So this group basically will try to make an evaluation of the games in 7 different aspects. And those, I will read it quickly. It's competition schedule, technical organization, sport presentation, broadcast quality and media coverage reach, athletes and stakeholders experience, inclusivity and accessibility, and sustainability and innovation. So with this analysis, what we're trying to do is to be ready for the next games coming. So yeah, we had already 1 meeting on Saturday. We're having our 2nd meeting. We are trying to understand better where we can improve. You should not forget that it's the first time that as ICF or as an international federation, we have the challenge. We have been in a challenge to organize 3 Olympic Games in a row. So we never had these 3 Olympic Games allocated. So the last 2 years, we have been talking to Paris, but also to Los Angeles and to Brisbane. And we need to use this opportunity. It's a challenge, but we need to use the opportunity. So that's why the president decided to create this group. And in March, at the board meeting, we will present our conclusions, and we will present the direction that we think we need to take about all these elements that we define. So that was Paris. In general, the result, I think Richard and Thomas, they put some numbers on the result of Paris, so I don't need to go deeper on that, but we are quite satisfied. But as I said, I think we need to be a little bit, not critical, but yeah, analyze what was happening and try to be as better as possible. So next challenge is Los Angeles. I think, again, as Thomas mentioned, in June we had the announcement of the IOC and the organizing committee that Oklahoma will host the slalom. So we secure the slalom competitions in Los Angeles, and sprint will be held in Long Beach City Center. I think we cannot have a better venue in Los Angeles for the sprint competitions. We have been working quite close with ACA, and thank you, Beth, especially, and ACA together to help us on this path to work with Oklahoma and Los Angeles. The mayor from Oklahoma City was attending the Olympic Games in Paris, As Thomas said, Oklahoma has been spending a lot of money to host the Olympic Games, so the mayor is one of the key persons there. He was with us for 3 or 4 days watching slalom, watching kayak cross, and I think he was going back home really happy and really excited. And the last words that he said to us in Paris was, we want to do it better. So if they can do it, that will be a good move for the ICF. So we are working with them right now, preparing everything around Olympics and trying to, through the new norm again, trying to see how the ICF can be more involved on the organizing part of the games. So we will keep informing you, but that's our objective, to be more involved, and more involvement means being more deeper into the organization of the games. And our third big challenge is Brisbane 2032. Again, since the last 2 years, we already had a couple of visits to Brisbane. A year and a half ago, we organized together with Paddle Australia, and I want to say thank you to Paddle Australia, Trimi and Kim and Richard, because they put together an easy week to visit Brisbane, to visit potential venues, to visit potential stakeholders. Also, we ran some workshops about how to make sustainable Olympics and how to make a proper legacy for these Olympics. So that's where we are. You should know that we were the first delegation meeting the new CEO from Brisbane 2032, and I think that was a good moment to meet her. And she was again in Paris. We had discussions, and we keep discussing about the venues. That for now it's our main topic: slalom venue, potential slalom venue in Redlands. So the City Town Council and all the stakeholders there are in favor. So we are now on the process of definition of this project, and the sprint venue, it's to be defined. As you know, always we dealing with rowing on that particular venue, so we are talking to Brisbane, we are talking to the different stakeholders there to try to achieve the best result possible to define the venue. So just to report that we are talking to the 3 organizing committees and that we are deeply involved in all this process. So in regards of the ICF events, that it's part of my duties, I should say that one of the goals was to increase participation, and I think Cecilia explained quite deeply what development is doing to try to increase participation. But also, we have been trying to increase or to make our events more sustainable, but not sustainable only on the way on environmental sustainability, that it's one of our key goals, also economically. So we keep working on that. That's one of our motivations. Since the beginning, Thomas put on the table that our events should be more sustainable, economically and environmentally. So that's part of our goals. So for the future and for the next 4 years, what we feel is that we need to keep on that direction, increasing participation, support events that prioritize sustainability. So we are changing a little bit our process on how to, and I hope you will approve those changes on the statutes to be more easy on the way that we find organizers and we can endorse these organizers. So we think that with this process, changing this process of how the bids will be presented to the ICF, we can achieve a much better events and sustainable events in the long term. But also, these events should be focused in legacy. Legacy, it's key. So Cecilia already mentioned, but the development side will also be linked to these events. So for the organizers, we need to give them some opportunities to have something back. It's not just about finding money and organizing an event for 5 days. It's about running the event, but getting some legacy guaranteed and also having this sustainability guaranteed as well, economically again and environmentally. And finally, on the event side, I would like to mention that in the previous Congress, we mentioned that we will be working hardly on the multi-sport events. We have been working on the multi-sport events So we can announce that we will be part of the Mediterranean Games again. We lost this position in the previous ones, so we have already confirmation from the Italian Olympic Committee that we will be part of the Mediterranean Games. And shortly, Luciano, as Vice President, will contact the countries on the region to try to see the numbers of participation and how we can create a proper environment for these Mediterranean Games. So we hope we can communicate soon with you. But also we have been working with the Commonwealth Games. We were talking to Australia, to New Zealand, Canada, to try to lobby together. Commonwealth Games has had some issues in this process, and now we want to re-establish this communication as the games will be allocated or are allocated already in Scotland. We know that the program has already been defined and shortened the sport, but probably it's the right moment to start thinking on the future Commonwealth Games. And also, I know that Thomas and Richard has been working on Islamic Games, and we are there talking to the organizing group to see if we can be part of it. So that's all about events, but I don't want to forget the work done by the technical committees. So without them, and I think that's need to be quite clear that our committees are the ones taking the harder part of this work, and the committees are the ones that they are delivering these events together with the organizers, but the committees are warranting the standards and warranting the quality of the event. So I think we need to keep in mind that our committees are our core business in terms of events. That's something that should be said. Another of my responsibilities was TB. So in TB, as you know, Thomas has been focusing quite a lot of energy on TB. So we have a new create a new strategy around what we want to do on TB. We're spending a lot of money. Thomas mentioned it on his report. And we want to get something back because at the minute we are spending money, nothing back. So it's just spending money in a way that we have a good quality product. And now we need to see how we can get money back to create better product and also to make it more wider to other disciplines as well. So at the minute, what we are having is that we increase our revenue through selling our rights. So in these 2 years, we show that we can sell our rights. So we sell rights every year around, I don't want to say figures, but it's around 150 per year, something like that in rights, TV rights for the World Cups. And then we also generate revenue through the pay-per-view platform. We know that, as Thomas said, and I don't want to repeat it, but we did some try. Now we stabilize with YouTube, and it seems that this year the figures are quite good. It can be much better if we can work in a long-term vision to be sure that our fans understand the system, but we are on a good track, and that's generating some revenue that can help us to make a better product. So that's where we are. And also what we did in the last year is we create an RFP to get some companies on board in terms of production. So we are analyzing different opportunities that can help in production and distribution. And for next year on, we already will have probably kind of a new definition of our TB strategy. But it's going on the same direction that has been going till now, but trying to reduce costs, trying to increase incomes, and trying to get a better service for all disciplines. And finally, as strategic focus, I would like to say that there are 3 key pillars that I think we need to keep in mind, all of us. So we are an international federation, but as Thomas said before, we depend a lot on IOC revenue, and not only ICF, all of us, depending on the Olympic Games. So we need to strengthen the connection with the Olympic movement. We have been doing it. As you've seen, Thomas, it's very close to the IOC president. We all here trying to lobby through our contacts with the IOC as much as possible. So I think we need to keep doing that, and we need to keep using our opportunities. We did it with Tony being CEO from Paris. We now have Jess Fox appointed as IOC member. So again, we have a position as an IOC member from our community. So we need to keep going on that direction. So that's, for us, it's key. Identifying new sources of income is also another strategic part. We are generating revenues through TBE, but also through the new offices. That was new. You will see it on the budget that has been increasing significantly thanks to the new offices and thanks to the Chinese Federation and the Hungarian Federation. And also, one of the things that we want to do is to create a department that can manage projects and generate incomes through different type of projects like European Union projects or other type of projects. So we are working as well on that, and hopefully we can soon announce some projects like the DEC Italian project through the ICF and generating more revenue and involving all the federations on these projects as well. And finally, I think we need to, a part of this income, the budget reflects, the new budget reflects the work done. So the last 3 years, we have been working really hard to not have this kind of dependence of the IOC. So from 90 to 60, it's quite a big step forward. But I like to say that this is a first step, and we need to keep working on that direction and having less dependence from this money coming from the IOC and more incomes that can help the ICF to be more independent and having his own projects. When we're talking all the time about money, we're not talking about having more money. We're talking about spending more money in projects for our sport. So that's a little bit my report, and I would like just to say thank you to my colleagues in the board and the president and the vice presidents for their support these 3 years, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Luis. Very comprehensive report that shows the wide range of your responsibility as Vice President. Are there any questions in regards to Luis' report? Not the case, and I want to express gratitude for great work to Luis again, and ask now to move forward to topic 14, seat transfer and statutes proposals.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas. As we've discussed on numerous occasions today, there's a huge opportunity presented to us by the Hungarian government regarding an opportunity to put a new headquarters in Budapest. Just wanted to highlight a few key points of this opportunity. Earlier in August this year, the government wrote a decree which allows us to have, which will put forward the opportunity to have 1.5 million annually for the next 10 years. As mentioned in our reports earlier, this will allow us to significantly expand the resources and our staff capacity. And as Luis just outlined, being based in the EU also allows us to potentially access other grants, such as Erasmus grants that we've taken advantage of with the Italian Federation so far. This move does not have any challenges to our ICF governance or autonomy. It simply means that we will be governed under Hungarian law rather than Swiss law. To move forward with this process, we have 2 steps. One is 2 resolutions that we need to make, and the second is 6 articles that need to change. I will take you through the 2 resolutions, and then afterwards Danielle Woodward will take you through the 6 articles. The first resolution is Resolution 7. This is simply a resolution that allows us to move our headquarters from Lausanne to Budapest. The Board of Directors fully support this move, and it's clear that it is a good move both on a financial footing but also on a human resource footing opportunity. Are there any questions on the resolution?
Even, are there any general questions regarding proposal to move the headquarters to Budapest? Do you need more explanation about the background? I don't know if you mentioned that, of course, we will leave our office in Lausanne as it is, same size, and that because of the proximity to the IOC, and yeah, have then in the future 3 offices in place with our new headquarter in Budapest. No questions, then we can move on.
Forward with the resolution. So, do you agree with the adoption of Resolution 7, which is to move the headquarters from Lausanne, Switzerland, to Budapest, Hungary? The vote is now open. We have 61 votes. We have 83 votes in the room. We have 79 votes in. Who's still left to vote?
Don't forget to use your proxy votes. 80, still missing 3.
Still missing 2 votes.
Is there still anyone who couldn't vote? Okay, then.
Voting's closed. Can you please show the result? The voting is closed. So, there's a clear majority, 85.2%.
So, thank you for your support of our strategy. It's all for the best, at least we think for the best of our organization. And then we can move on to Resolution 8 to change rules which are linked with reallocation of our headquarter. And I ask...
1 minute. Resolution 8 is simply, as we go through the process, first process here is to make sure that we agree to move the headquarters, which we have done. The second phase is to provide the opportunity for the board, should there be any challenges or problems between now and the registration with the Hungarian law, to withdraw that. So, this is the second adoption. Is there any questions on this resolution? Please.
Mike, please. But we have to record also contributions, and we have to deliver translations. So we were not prepared for questions.
Yes, I'm Everett Bos, new president of Holland from the pedal sports. And I don't see in the resolution the 10 years. You told us there are 10 years of finance, and I don't see in the resolution 10 years. So
That's the financial position is not generally entered into the statutes. It's a statute change.
Okay. But if you decide to go for about 10 years to Budapest, because there is finance for 10 years, shouldn't there be 10 years in the resolution?
That's the initial period is a 10-year period. As with any funding, it's within a block a block time, but that does not have any impact on, after 10 years, it doesn't mean to say that we will suddenly cancel our Hungarian office.
But we go there because there is additional money
Yes,
and also additional opportunities.
yeah.
But you never say anything about if the additional money and the additional opportunity stops, what do we do with Budapest?
That is up to the then acting Congress if we want to change this decision or not. We are always been able, the Congress, to change this decision and to make a different decision if someone is offered still better conditions after 10 years. This resolution 8 is now only directed that in the process from now, decision until registration, we can withdraw and can stop negotiations. That was a concern of the board because we finalized all our discussions, but there can always something happen even if we not expect that something will happen because we trust our Hungarian friends, and it's only to have a safe due diligence process.
Okay. Thank you.
More questions? Remove the mics. Triggered people to ask questions. No. You know I'm joking. We really appreciate all your requests and questions. But there are no more, then we can move on with voting.
Yeah. So do you agree to empower the board to withdraw, should there be any reason to, between now and the legal registration in Hungary? Voting is now open. There's 76 votes. Is anyone having trouble voting? 79. Okay, we're at 81. We can close the voting. 82. Okay.
Even this resolution is approved with a huge majority, 76 votes in favor. At this point, I want to express our deepest gratitude to Hungarian Federation and Hungarian government for this support. Of course, it's a traditional Hungarian sport, but there are no requirements connected with this move. There is simply the offer, please develop your sport. Here we can provide additional funds, and we are very happy about this offer, and I think that will improve the position of our international federation and our whole sport. Thank you to the Hungarians for their support. And now we move over to the linked statute changes, and I hand over to Danielle.
Good morning, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Danielle Woodward, and I am one of the Continental representatives on the board of directors. And I've been given the pleasure of presenting the statutes and the rule changes to you today. The staff and myself have worked quite hard to try and make this as simple as possible. We know that it's a difficult and fairly boring subject, but we hope that we've made it a little bit better and easier to understand, and to also as we go through it or afterwards, if you have any feedback, please let us know, because I do know it's probably the most difficult part of Congress is listening to someone drone on up here about Rule 27D, E, F and G. So just in respect to the statutes, we've broken it up into 3 blocks. The first block of statutes, as Richard said, is 6 proposals, and they are directly linked to the registration of the seat in Hungary. So they're required by law in Hungary for us to move forward. As you can see on the front screen just here, they will only be effective from the registration of our seat in Hungary. It's important to understand that, and that's part of why we've got this resolution that you've just passed, and that's that we can continue our due diligence and we don't have to roll back any of the statutes if we choose not to go ahead. So they're the first 6 that we'll vote on, and we'll go through those very shortly. And then the next 3 proposals are also linked to the Hungary office, but they will become effective immediately. They are pretty much good governance rules for us, and so we don't see that they will impact on us regardless of whether the seat is moved or not. Just to remind you that with the statutes, we need 2/3 majority in order to pass the statutes, and for us that will be 56 votes in the room if we've got 83 voting. And also, just to let you know, because I will present a little bit later, a reminder that the bylaws are actually voted on by the Board of Directors and not Congress. So statutes are voted on by Congress, common rules are voted on by Congress, principal rules are voted on by Congress, sports rules and bylaws are voted on by the committee and the Board of Directors. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll move through these. As I said, they're relatively simple and they're required. The first one is Article 4 in our statutes, and it's actually we have to nominate that we're moving the seat to Hungary, to Budapest, so we actually have to name the place that we're having it. So in our statutes previously, we haven't actually nominated Lausanne as our headquarters, and so this is a governance improvement and required by law. Does anyone have any questions on that one? No? Just put your hand up if you do, as I'll run through them. As I said, it's required under law for us to actually move the seat. It's got to be indicated. The second one is the Special Congress. Now, there's actually 5 points under this. We have to bring about a Special Congress because the law actually entails that we produce our annual report, our financial statements every year, and because Congress is the highest authority, they have to be produced to Congress. So we've gone ahead with basically building a new section for a Special Congress that can be held electronically. So this is the first part of the first 2 points of the new section, being that a Special Congress may adopt a written resolution for the approval of the annual financial reports. And the second part is the delegate to the Special Congress is entitled to pass a decision via electronic means without a formal meeting. And so we're not proposing to change any format. We'll still have our face-to-face meetings every 2 years, but this will allow us to one, comply with Hungarian law in being able to produce our annual report in the finances and have them adopted by Congress electronically, and it's also good governance to really have our annual report seen by Congress annually as well. The third point is that which basically is again the machinery section, which is actually that the Congress shall be sent by the ICF Secretary General via email and must contain the information, facts, votings, and so this is just the running of the Congress and how it shall run. The fourth point, that we're obliged to accept the annual financial report every year. And the fifth point is that we're also entitled to decide to enter into force from law previously adopted but not yet effective at Congress. So that's, if we've actually had a decision that's been made previously to adopt those. So that's the introduction of a new section into the statutes for a special Congress. Any questions? Excellent. I've just run through the context for you. The third point we've got is actually a deletion, and the section 21.5, and it was basically where the Board of Directors had the ability to overrule the Congress in certain circumstances, and that's not considered to be good governance. And so what we're proposing is that be deleted so that the Board of Directors cannot overrule the Congress as the supreme authority. Any questions? No? Excellent. The Article 18, this is just an addition to our extraordinary Congress, just to bring it up to date, and again, it ensures transparency, and that is that we can hold an extraordinary Congress, which is in our statutes already, via electronic means if we need to. So that's just an update. No questions? Great. And then Article 3 is an expansion of our objectives. The Hungarian government required that we had more specific and had clarifications as to what our objectives were in establishing international championships. So we've just expanded that out, so you can read it there, to promote cordial and friendly relations, to organise ICF events, to supervise events organised by the members, to participate in the organisation of Olympic and international championships, and to promote the ideals and objectives behind the Olympic movement. So that's just an expansion. As I said, the Civil Act in Hungary requires that we define that objective, so that's what we've done. And the last one is Article 26, and it's adding a new piece to it, and it's to do with the power to sign, that we haven't clarified previously who has the power to sign on behalf of the ICF. So this actually puts that clarification in, that the ICF President and the ICF Secretary General shall be entitled to sign on behalf of the ICF and represent the ICF. So these are all, now they're all the ones that are linked to the seat and won't come into effect until registration of the seat. So what I propose, we haven't had any questions, that we vote on those as a block. So there's 6 of them. Is there any questions prior to this before we put it to vote? No? Excellent. So the resolution number 9 is that the Congress hereby adopts the amendments to the statutes required to the relocation of the headquarters with effectiveness from the Hungarian registration as previously presented and listed below, and they're the articles that have been amended.
Okay. Can you please open the voting? Okay, we have 68 in. Is anyone having difficulties with the voting? Still struggling with a few. Anyone else having difficulties with voting? Everyone remember to do their proxies? We're on 77. Okay, feel like a bingo caller. Okay, let's close the voting. Okay. 73 for 94.8%, so unanimously approved pretty much. Okay.
All right.
With that, if you're okay, Danielle, I think we can press on with it. We're a little bit early for lunch, so it's
Yeah,
up
I'll
to
just
you.
do the next three.
If you could do
Yeah.
the next three, that would be perfect.
No
Thank you very
worries.
much.
So just running on the same length as I said, the second block, these ones are related to the seat in Hungary but will take immediate effect after Congress. So that's the difference. There's three articles that we've got here. The first one is basically Article 21. And Article 21 talks about the statutes being able to be changed every 2 years. We want to delete that out and just say that the Congress may amend the statutes, so it's not every 2 years, which will give us more flexibility. And we've asked to split point 3 in, again, to delete the 2 years out of the ICF Board of Directors may amend the bylaws, and have kept the 2-year piece in for the Board of Directors to amend the sports rules. We've kept those 2 years in. So that's just an addition and a split, deletion of the 2 years out of 2 points. Any questions? Okay, the next one is Article 15.2, and this one is actually a technical correction. Where it says it refers to Article 29B 1 and 2, that's not a correct reference, and we don't need it, and so we've just asked to take that out so that it's technically not correct and it shouldn't be there. And so that's it actually. They're the three, because the first one was actually two pieces. One is the deletion of the 2 years, and the other one is the split into 21.3 into making it 3 points. So we do have any questions with those? So these will take immediate effect. They're fairly minor changes. Everyone's happy? So we can go to the vote, and the resolution is that the Congress hereby adopts the amendments. Can't read that. The amendments to the relocation of headquarters with immediate effect after Congress, and they're the articles. You're right.
Okay, we can open the voting. It's open. Super efficient. Okay, people obviously getting ready for lunch. They're voting quicker. We're at 75. Okay. Oh. Okay, we can now close the voting. Okay.
Even this resolution passed with a huge majority. 76 are in favor, 97.4%.
Thank you. I think that's all. We've got another block after lunch, and then we've got the principal rules and common rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle, for presenting the rules. And thank you for your trust in our policy, our proposals. Maybe the lack of comments is a result of our transparency, of our involvement of national federations in each of our important discussion and steps we want to take. So we take that as a matter of trust, and I can release you now with a good feeling that we made the right decision right now to have a great lunch, and leave your devices, translating devices, on your place and see you again here 2 o'clock. Thank you.